Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Extra intro music today because I dropped the camera. All right, Jessi Miller and Melissa Deskovic are in the studio from Ocala Magazine, and we're here to do Ocala Magazine Radio. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you guys?
You were running in here.
We were running in here. I don't know what happened. We entered a time warp, and 5 minutes happened. So we lost 5 minutes somewhere in the way here.
So we have it's the perfect combo right here, the writer and the artist. You need to work on something together. I'm sure you have already, right?
We've talked about it.
Yeah?
But we're going to do something like make a movie. It's like it has nothing to do with writing or art.
or art direction. Well, kind of does, but we have other passions.
Nice.
But the movies always start with words.
For sure. It starts with words and you put visuals together. I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, the words and the visuals are what make kind of everything, right?
What do they say? They say a good book is not written, it's rewritten. You
exactly.
Keep writing it over and over until you finally get it right.
Until you finally get it right.
Do you find that true with art too? Like a good piece is redone?
No. With graphic design, I think that I can definitely work on and revise and rework and so on and so forth until I don't have any more time left. But with a painting, you just have to stop at some point, like it's got to be done and you can't go back into it necessarily. So. I'm trying to write a book, and Melissa has successfully written one, and I'm not a professional writer, even though I'm good at it. It doesn't really, I don't have that discipline and like routine, so that's like a really challenging thing to try to write a book. And like you said, that it gets rewritten over and over, so to just be okay with that first draft not being it's just really, that's just a big challenge for me. But
is your book a novel, a fictional piece?
It's a memoir, because I have a crazy story of how I grew up, and since I've been, like 7 or 8 people have been saying that I need to write it into a book, so I had to kind of literally wait till my mom died, because she wouldn't want all of that out. But now she's gone, so I can tell my story. It's just her story, really.
Where did you grow up?
California, Hawaii, Central America, Guatemala, Costa Rica.
Wow, holy mackerel.
Kentucky, Las Vegas, Key West, the Caribbean on a sailboat.
Wow. Is there a short answer as to why you were in so many places?
Raised by hippies. That's not a real answer, but it gives some idea. It gives some idea, right?
It sort of kind of does.
Backpacking, hitchhiking. It was the 70s. It wasn't like today,
So the foreign countries, kind of questions about them. Central America, what was that like?
Yeah, so at one point I was living in this hut on an island in the middle of a lake, Lake Petén, in Guatemala, and so there were no cars. You could only get to it by canoe. We had dirt floors. I slept in a hammock.
Wow.
We had an outhouse. We had this washboard thing to wash your clothes with, and so.
Oh, wow. And what do you remember about that? How old were you at that time?
I was 5 years old, and I turned 6 there also, and so it's 5 and 6. I remember a lot. I remember all of it. It was weird. Did
you have a lot of bugs? Sounds like there'll be a lot of bugs in a muddy place.
I had a spider monkey at one point. I had a parrot named Polly.
As a pet?
Yeah, we were taking care of someone's spider monkey. That was a feisty little, tricksy monkey. It would eat your things and get into stuff and steal things.
What was his name?
Alice. Her name was Alice.
Her name, Alice. Yeah. Unless it was Alice Cooper.
But there's boa constrictors out, and there's so much stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good book.
And German tourists who had a big giant white dog named Gunter, and it rained for 3 months straight. And
on the island in the lake, you had German tourists.
Yeah, in another hut.
What were they looking for?
Choose that place. That's what
I'm thinking.
How do you look at a map and say, I want to go there?
Yeah, an island in a lake in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Wow.
crazy.
Did they speak whatever language they speak there? What's the language? The native?
Spanish, yeah.
So did you speak Spanish?
Yeah, for sure. And especially at that time, I was fluent in a lot of dialects because when you travel up and down Central America, there's a lot of just variation, but it's all Spanish.
How do you say,
really
can I
nice.
get off this island, please?
I don't know if I wanted to. I was young. It just was life. you
Oh,
know?
it was fun.
It's just like, I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
it is
okay.
what it is. It's
what you
life.
knew.
It is
Yeah.
life is what you just live it. There it is.
So does the memoir leave us laughing, smiling, crying? What does it do?
All the
Yeah,
above.
yeah.
Yeah?
You're probably like shocked sometimes, like what? Like that the way my mother raised me, like no one. I don't think anybody would do that today.
I'm sorry that your mom died. How old
Thank
was
you.
she when
She was
passed?
63.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no, yeah, it happens. Breast cancer, and this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So
Yeah, yeah.
October, get checked to everybody.
Yes.
Melissa, you've told us about your book, right?
Yeah.
Tell us again. What's it called? I did look it up one time. I'm pretty sure I found it.
Well, the series is called Echoes. The first book is called Catalyst, and that's the one that's out now. I'm working on the second one, which is called Uprising. So that's the one I'm working on now. But it's nothing like a memoir of all those great stories. Mine is more sci-fi, fantasy, horror.
Ah, yes, yes.
She has a autobiographic undercurrent, though.
Yes.
So the theme of it is
Oh, really?
is her story, but she's
So
taken it.
some of you is in there.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Do you advise writers to do that, or to stay away from that, or does it
Well,
not matter?
I guess I've always been told, you write what you know, and you have to be, in order to have good writing, you have to be very honest with it, and that was, to me, is probably the hardest part, which is probably why, rather than writing my story, I'm like, let me take this and put it, put something over it. Let's create another realm or something to kind of disconnect myself from it. But no, I think you have to write what you know. And, for me personally, I have to live something. Like if there's a lesson in a book, or if there's a story I'm trying to tell.
So it's sci-fi with a moral to the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Ocala. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sci-fi.
That's sci-fi. No. I grew up in Ocala. So,
Nice.
right here.
Well, very nice. And did you ever have like in Jessi's case, she's been everywhere. Have you ever wanted to go outside of Ocala, as far as living? I mean, just moving out, or?
I think that feeling comes and goes. Definitely as a teenager, I had I'm growing up, I'm getting out of this town, I'm going to leave, and then I left and had kids, and I'm like, Ocala's a good place to raise kids,
Yeah,
so.
Good place to raise kids. That's
so
where I
my
stopped
husband,
here.
and my family's here, my husband's family was here, so.
I think small town America is a good place to
It
raise
really
a kid.
is.
There's so many towns like Ocala, not that we're not unusual or that we're not unique.
Right.
It's just that I think the small town life in general,
Yeah.
in my opinion, as long as it's not so small,
Right.
like Yucca, Arizona. That's real small.
That's very small.
Yeah. But Ocala is just small enough and just kind of at that edge of being small and big. And
Yeah,
you
but
know.
Ocala's growing, and it's really interesting to, of course, growing up here, seeing where it was when I was growing up, as opposed to now. It's definitely grown, and it's still growing, and it's great to see.
Do people in Ocala, trying to steer toward the magazine, do they ever use the magazine as a way to advertise something as a big reveal? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh, sure.
we have a new thing and we're going to announce it at the next issue, that kind of a thing?
Absolutely,
All
and
the time.
especially there's the potential to tell a story, not just an ad, but you can have an actual story, like an advertorial or editorial or whatever. So I mean, you've got pages and pages that you can tell a whole story with that you can't necessarily get in a 30-second spot or just a one print ad. So it's a good opportunity to get in front of everyone's eyes and stay there, because people keep the magazines around for a while. So
So do you have to
They
do
definitely
one
do.
step ahead of the rest of us? We learned something this morning, and we don't even know if it's true. We do a show now where people call in and sell their stuff. Okay. So one guy is selling a wood stove, and he has a yard. A wood burning oven is what I meant to say, and he's got a yard sale behind Cheddar's, so you
Okay.
can visualize where that is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
because they're going to bulldoze the house, he's got to get rid of everything. So I said,
Got it.
sounds like eminent domain, right?
Right.
So I said, are they building a road? Because it looks like a road will go back. He says, no.
there's like a road to nothing back there right now.
His answer, no, a hotel.
Oh, okay.
So when you hear another hotel in Ocala, it makes you wonder, there's something going on we don't know about, right? Or do you ladies know something we don't know?
Well, we all know about the World Equestrian Center that's coming out.
So you think that's part of it?
I think that's part of it, and I think we're just growing, right? Rent is fairly high here compared to like kind of standard of living that we have or whatever, and that's because that's how many rental apartments there are. There's more people, there's more demand. There's more demand to come and live, than there are supply of things like that. So I think we're just growing. I don't know. It's definitely changed in the past 10 years, and it's just going to keep, everything in Florida is going to keep growing until, that's the nature of what we're doing.
So what is the backstory to your parents? Why did they become hippies?
Well,
were they like anti-establishment?
It was my mom. She was anti-everything, and she was a super positive person. But yeah, like the man,
And by the way, I'm not being condescending.
No, it's fine.
I always
totally
liked the hippie lifestyle. Not that I would have been comfortable in it.
So
for maybe
I just
a day
want
or
to say
two.
she was like a super free spirit, and anything that tied her down was not going to work out. So, so that's really, I think, the nature for her. She left my dad. It was me and my mom. I say raised by hippies. It was.
So you got your artist thing from her?
I mean, my dad is an artist, and she was really creative. It just is what, my favorite thing to do. So that's just what I chose. But yeah, so she just was a free spirit. That's really all I can. That's really all I can say about that. And then
to wait for the book.
And then I from high school on, I settled myself down. And then when I had kids, so I thought Ocala was a great place to raise kids. So
Nice.
I settled myself here. Yeah.
And your magazine, OM, it has over the years since its inception, it has been the winner of numerous awards.
Yes, we did. We won. I was at 5 or 6 Charlie Awards, which was great. And we're gonna just keep building on that, and I'm sure it'll be even better next year now that we've got some cohesiveness with this new brand and OM under our belt. It's just growing. We're 120 pages right now. Like a year ago it was at 64, when Philip Glassman bought it, and just sort of started picking it back up again. So it's doubled in size since then, and shows no signs of stopping. We're gonna publish in the Villages this month also, and we're going to launch
that's
some
exciting. That's
video
a large audience.
And and it's going to be VM, not OM, so it's going to be a separate version, but a lot of it will be the same. It's going to be the same magazine, but with customized for the area.
Oh, for the Villages specifically, then.
Yeah, specifically. So it'll be a mix. And then we're going to launch a media channel so that you'll be able to get all the social media and video like straight in your app if you want it, in addition to the regular social media channels. So it's, a lot is happening. It's really cool.
Will you be incorporating the other cities between Ocala and the Villages, like Bellevue,
Oh, for sure.
Akawaha, things like that?
I feel like it's just a blend of one city in between there. So absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's Wildwood, there's more towns than I know all the names of.
Yeah.
But we'll encompass all that for sure.
My favorite town is Market of Marion. That's my favorite town.
You get a lot of
That's like a hippie commune, isn't
you get a
it?
lot of exercise
When
there.
you walk through there, right?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. It's
when
interesting.
people want to showcase their businesses, do they supply their own photographs, or do you send your own photographs?
Both, absolutely. A lot of people have photography that they like and have already, or we send our photographer out sometimes, not for the teeny tiny ads, but for bigger pieces. For sure, you can get professional photography. And, we have a crack team of advertising professionals, so you can end up having custom. It's like going to an ad. It's almost like going to an ad agency if you use us right. We have all of that there for you, so it's nice. We didn't want to forget to talk about last night. We did our celebration of nurses.
Nice.
And it was our 5th annual, and this is just it's like a really cool thing that nurses just can come for free. Doesn't matter how many of them come. They can eat, they can drink, they can play games. We give awards out that we have, highly experienced people in this field judge from all these nominations. We get hundreds of nominations come in, and so we give out 6 different awards. to nurses, like a student award, a spirit award, which is from 1 to 10 years in the field, an inspiration award, which is 11 to 19 years in the field, an instructor, a legacy award, which is 20 plus years in the field, and then we have a people's choice, which social media votes on, so there's 6 different awards. And it's just really nice and special. Like, we have a lot of great sponsors that help make it happen, but this way, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of nurses can come and just really celebrate themselves and have a great time. They're kind of like, they're not the doctors that get all the credit, right? And they're not the first responders that we always talk about, like, coming out and saving your life, but they're there, like, caring for you. I think they're the unsung heroes.
I went to the dentist. I think everything that I had done was done by the nurse, except for the very last thing. Doctor came in, just, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else was done by the nurses.
And they tend to have that human connection, caring component to it, because they see you more, like you said, and the doctor just sees you for a minute before or after or whatever. So yeah, they're really they're out there, our unsung heroes, and so that we had a great celebration last night. It was Western themed, and there was a lot of.
Did you have a cowboy hat?
I mean,
there's some cowboy
You mean?
Yeah.
That sounds like
I don't have my own, but I put one on
We
for a
did.
minute. Yeah.
for a minute.
We put on we
Take a
took the picture with the cowboy hats.
Did you have a big buckle on your belt?
No.
No?
I draw the
I
lines.
suppose we should have. We just
should
sound
have.
very Western girls. We really
Not at all.
But yeah.
Well, nurses have morphed over the centuries because they've gone from wearing totally white to something where children can feel comfortable
Right.
and something that's fun.
That's true.
On their
To express
nursing
their creativity too. They have a lot of different
uniforms,
patterns and characters and colors.
What do you call those things? What do you call
Scrubs.
those? Those are called
Those are
scrubs, even when they got
scrubs,
the little patterns on them, like a tablecloth?
Chefs
Pajamas?
kind
I don't know. Pajamas?
I've noticed that with chefs too, right? I mean, there's still the white coat, but everybody
But
they
they
have
got
these
the-
pants with all those patterns now. It's a funny thing.
Yeah.
So, are you gearing up for more nominations for next year's gala, or is that limited to maybe 6 months down the road when you'll be accepting?
Yeah, it will be a few months. It'll be a while. We have to decide whether we're going to do it during Nurses Week again. This year we did it in October because of the amount of time when Philip Glassman first bought the magazine and we started that rebrand. We weren't ready to throw it yet, to throw that big giant party for them yet. So we pushed it to October this year. So now we'll meet and decide if we're going to do it during Nurses Week or when we'll do it, and then we'll have the nominations start up again and do it every every
Jessi,
year.
are you doing Inktober this year?
I'm not. I'm trying to write, and I decided I can't write and ink because it's a lot. It's a taxing.
It's a big job.
It's a
Very
lot of
draining
work.
emotionally and
Are you
mentally.
doing it?
No, I did
man.
it. I only did it
Yeah.
1 year. 2 years ago, I did it.
That's when I did it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the only time I've done it.
Yeah, but for every ink drawing that Larry did, he also wrote a story for it. So he created his own book.
So
So he did the
and
whole
your
thing.
drawings were intense,
Yeah.
really
Yeah, so he
detailed,
published a book
lot.
with all of the drawings in
Well,
it,
at that
with
time,
the stories.
my apple tree was growing. Well, it's still growing, but at that time, no, at that time, in April. See, that was October, and in April of that year, I bit into an apple, and it had a seed that was started in the apple. Had a little tiny root. So I did the kindergarten trick. I put it in a wet paper towel, put it in my coffee cup, and it started growing here at the radio station. So I called it the apple tree in the coffee cup. And then I said, I got to put dirt in there. So I put dirt in there, and it kept growing, and it became like this tall. So I decided to, every picture that I did that October, had the little tree in it.
It was a theme.
Great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
my-
so
my
great.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great when you find inspiration. It's everywhere. Even the
It
little
is-
things. It's
It is weird how something like that pulls
Yeah.
something together without you even realizing it.
Yeah.
That seems like a trick that would work with art and with writing, right?
oh yeah. My in fact, everything that started the book, the series that I'm writing, was from a reoccurring dream that I had when I was a child.
Really?
So that's kind
Oh,
of
my.
what started everything. And then I think the book actually started back in 2004, maybe, when I posted, it was like a blog post that I just
What was the
kind of
dream?
wrote. It's the first chapter of my book.
I gotta read it.
Gotta read it.
So each chapter is a recurring dream that you've had?
Not on that one. That one, the chapter 1 of book 1 is the dream. And then it just kind of, the story develops from there. I do have another book I'm working on that is, because I have these really kind of crazy, vivid dreams. So I'm putting them all together and doing like a book of dreams.
We were in Barnes & Noble yesterday, and we were walking through the store, and it's amazing how many books we see from authors that we've had on the show, because we speak to a gazillion.
yeah.
We speak to authors all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So we're walking through the store and say, oh my gosh, look at all the people we've not met in person for the
talked
most
to,
part, talked to. And the one thing that they don't all do this, but a lot of them have, like when they have a series of books, there's something similar about each title. You know, like they'll use, I don't know, numbers or months or...
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. With my series, it was, I titled it Echoes because of the things that happen. It's all about this girl's journey. But the journey didn't start with her. It started with her parents and then with their parents. So it's like in each of our lives, there are echoes of the people that came before us.
Very clever.
So book 1 is called Catalyst because it's all about that moment she realizes, okay, here's a part of their history, their past, their story that is now brought her to a crossroads, and she has to decide. And
But she is not you, but you are in her.
yes.
Does that sound right? Okay.
That's, yeah, exactly. And then book 2 is Uprising because it is sci-fi, so there's, War of Worlds type stuff. It's called Uprising because then it's all about her decision to carry certain things on. And then book 3 is going to be called Revolution because then it's, you're going to see different paths that happen throughout the book. That in book 3 it's called Revolution because certain things change. So it's all about your family history and the things that get passed from generation to generation. It's really all of our choices.
There's your movie right there.
That's beautiful. And Jessi, are you doing any more couch sessions? Are you having any scheduled?
I'm not doing couch sessions like in the next season or whatever. Mine is over, but Olivia's still doing them, and we're gonna, I'm fairly sure we're gonna pick up studio nights where we have the live music and live art.
Oh, wonderful.
Starting, next week or the following week or something on Thursday nights over at Excess, because the tavern was sold and is gonna become something else, but then we're gonna pick up our studio nights, so we like that, like, live music, open mic, artists playing, or, artists painting and all of that, just sort of artsy component. It's fun.
Hey, we did the first Friday, we play music on the first Friday. So we play by the chocolate shop, right? And right next to it, it's all got paper on it, and some young man said, excuse me, I got to get in. It sounds like that's going to be a hair salon or something. Do you know anything about that?
Mr. Fredericks was on the door.
Oh, that's the name, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Another new
Several
business.
new places downtown.
It's so great to see that. So many new places opening.
There's like a new tiki bar. There's the Bank Street thing.
Street opening,
There's
yeah.
What is the
There's
shop
a
that
Black
says
Sheep.
no charge for smells? It's Jimmy John's, right? Jimmy John's.
I don't know.
No charge. They come in here and smell. That's what they should have on the chocolate shop.
Yeah, no charge for
Oh my gosh, you walk in there, it's just good just smelling it, right?
Yeah.
So what's next for OM this week? What are you doing for your future?
We are finalizing our charity register and getting the November issue together. So we're talking to like all the charities in town, which is always fun, and of course other fun surprises that will be in November. But anyways, we're wrapping that up, and also planning December and January right through. The next 3 months are all just running through. We're excited about January's Red Book, which is going to be that hardcover.
I like that idea. That's a fun
It's a
idea.
good idea.
Yeah.
That's
So-
That's a keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
That's exactly what that is. Yeah. So I think we're going to paint. I think I'm going to paint a horse for that one. I'm not 100%, but that's what I think is happening.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
And then,
That'd be wonderful.
And so that's a really fun issue because it's all like evergreen stuff. So we're trying to pick the most beautiful content that will be good all year. So it'll be a really nice piece that you'll want to hold on to.
Sounds like your theme, Evergreen. That's like a good title.
We love you, ladies. Thank you for coming in here and sharing your talents with us. You're both amazing. We would love to have both of you as individual guests talk about your book and your art
Definitely.
and your life.
Wonderful.
Jessi. Jessi Miller and Melissa Deskovic, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, removed from her post by President Trump in May, is at the Capitol for closed-door testimony.
3 House committees will conduct transcribed interviews with Marie Yovanovitch, someone President Trump described as bad news during the July phone call with the